and Tony, who just graduated high school. Denise has been in education for 30 years. Denise is leading the charge to get the Inclusion and Diversity Committee back up and running at the school district, and she is going to discuss some of the plans in the works related to diversity at the district level.
Yep. Before I begin to share a little bit about what Plum Boro School District is doing to address diversity, inclusion, and equity, I'd like to share a story about one of my heroes. Even after the Civil Rights Act of 1964, in many community pools across the country, white people did not allow Black people to share the water with them. In Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, which aired on May 9th, 1969, Mr. Roger invited Officer Clemens, a Black police officer on the show, to join him to cool his feet in a small plastic wading pool. Officer Clemens originally declined, stating that he did not have a towel. Mr. Rogers said he could use his towel to dry his feet when they were done. When Clemens sat down and placed his feet in the water right next to Mr. Rogers, the two men broke a well-known color barrier. Rogers and Clemens demonstrated that a Black man and a white man could peacefully share the water. When Clemens had to go, he used Rogers' towel to dry his feet as promised. Rogers left the pool directly after Clemens and proceeded to use the same towel. Their casual intimacy exposed the bigotry of denying Black citizens across access to pools or any other place in society. That same scene was recreated 24 years later during Officer Clemens' last time on the show. Although this time, Clemens, who was a gay Black man, when he took his feet out of the pool, Mr. Rogers, as Jesus did, wiped his feet dry. Clemens told a Vermont newspaper that it was a definite call to social action on Mr. Rogers' part. It was his way of speaking about race relations in America. The interaction remains emblematic of a message of love, kindness, and acceptance that Mr. Rogers was trying to share with his viewers. Wouldn't it be great if we could take Mr. Rogers' message of love, kindness, and acceptance and apply it in all we do? It is these little acts of kindness that can change our schools, our communities, and our world. The Plum Boro School District is committed to exceptionally preparing all children for success. We believe that leading and teaching with integrity in a caring and nurturing environment where we embrace diversity, inclusion, and equity is the only way that we will reach our goals. As has been said on many occasions, there was a history of a diversity committee in the Plum Boro School District. In the fall of 2016, after a Confederate flag incident, Plum Boro School District invited the United States Department of Justice Community Relations Service in to work with the district. It was determined that the CRS would convene a spirit planning group of school administrators, teachers, staff, students, and other community leaders. The spirit group is a school student problem identification and resolution of issues together. The process brought over 50 individuals together, 46 students, more than 75 people together, of which 46 students. And they really unpacked what were the problems, what was the tone, what could administrators do, what could teachers do, what could parents do, what could students do. Some of the results of the Spirit team's work yielded the Plum Community Pledge, the Spirit Cafe in the high school, and most importantly, opening up courageous conversations between students and administration, students and staff, and students and their families. This program is what launched the Diversity Committee. There were 5 original goals: equity, communications, curriculum, training, and professional development, along with climate and culture. These goals, some of them have been achieved and some of them have not. There have been a lot of transitions. The equity group involves such items as policies and procedures at the district level, ensuring that there was equal representation of minorities in our gifted, are advanced in our AP classes, ensuring that discipline was fair and consistent and addressed any racial or ethnic harassment, intimidation, and bullying. Communication is always an area for improvement, no matter what organization you're in. The district updated our website to make it easier to navigate. We've created a district app, and we are using push notifications to really get our message out so that we're not relying on people to go to our website, but pushing information out. We also try and promote all the positive things that are happening in our district through social media, Twitter, Facebook, and more traditionally, our newspapers. In curriculum, we want to make sure that our materials and resources adequately address the broad world, cultural perspectives, and global diversity. Our students today compete in a global environment. Our curriculum must match that global environment. The district adopted a framework for culturally responsive teaching, and teachers were trained utilizing that framework. We also embraced teaching tolerance's social justice standards, the teaching tolerance anti-bias framework, because as has been said, and as we all know, we all have our own implicit bias. The social justice standards are age-appropriate learning outcomes divided into 4 domains: identity, diversity, justice, and action. Teachers use them to guide their curriculum development, and administrators use them to make schools more just, equitable, and safe. Another goal area was to take a hard look at our curriculum and extracurricular activities through the lens of multiculturalism. Programs such as Best Buddies to support our students with special needs were adopted. There were changes in student government. The Spirit and Reach Out Club were expanded or revised. The district has committed in the last year $30,000 annually for teachers to create new clubs and activities in the buildings. We want to make sure that our teachers are connected to our students and to our families. The Second Step Social and Emotional Learning Program is a research-based best practice program that was adopted to address bullying in K-5. We're going to bring in Rachel's Challenge that I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Training and professional development. We have a long way to go, but we've started with cultural sensitivity and implicit bias training under the direction of Dr. Nichols, a consultant. All professional staff were trained in various teaching pedagogies with teaching culturally. All of our staff during the COVID-19, our support staff, were trained in cultural competence and racial bias, diversity awareness, general ethics in the workplace, sensitivity awareness, and so many more trainings to help make them better at what they do in interacting with students, families, and our community. Climate and culture, we have a long way to go. We're not there yet. We have the Spirit program and the Spirit Cafe and some of the other programs that I mentioned. For the 2021 school year, I'm pleased to announce that Mr. Fischel has worked with a group of students to create a Black Student Union that will provide a platform for our Black students to discuss important issues and what is happening in their lives. We also have our district-wide survey that asks parents and students how we're doing. The new comprehensive plan that was developed focuses on integrity, commitment, caring staff, and the relentless pursuit of our goals to prepare our students for success. On our balanced scorecard, we report out annually on these goals. One of our goals that is tied to the Black Lives Matter is safety, keeping our schools safe. Over 87% of our students feel safe in our schools, and 93.5% of our parents feel that their child is safe in schools. I'm not sure that we're going to meet that bar with all the civil unrest that is happening in today's world unless we educate, unless we have those courageous conversations. We want to satisfy our customers and community. And so we're going to continue to work very hard to make sure that all of our customers, all of our students, and all of our families are satisfied with the programs in the Plum Boro School District. This summer, we're using push notifications to help educate our staff, our students, our parents, and our communities about implicit bias, about racial bias. about Black Lives Matter movement, and so much more. I would ask that all of our community members take time to read and listen to the 3 to 5 minute notifications that we're pushing out, because it's imperative that every single one of us understand how implicit bias, how racial bias, and how Black Lives Matter impacts our decisions on a daily basis. We're very excited to announce that we've become a part of Rachel's Challenge for the upcoming school year. Rachel Joy Scott was the first person killed in the Columbine school shooting on April 20th, 1999. This program is one of the best research-based bullying, anti-hate programs that exist worldwide. Over 25 million people have committed to Rachel's Challenge. Mr. Daryl Scott, the father of Rachel, will be joining us in November to talk to our students and our staff, and then the broader community pending COVID-19 regulations. We acknowledge that we have hard work to do in regard to diversity, inclusion, and equity, and we accept that challenge as a district. Our future depends on the work that we do today and in the coming days. We look forward to reconvening the Diversity, Inclusion, and Equity Committee in August so that we can join together, so that we can continue to have these courageous conversations, so that we can continue to educate each other, so that we can support our students, our families, and our larger Plum Boro School District. Because all lives do matter, but most importantly, in today's world, Black Lives Matter. Thank you.